Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Anything Wrestling Podcast. Thank you once again for joining us. We are back here today on the horizon of WrestleMania. We are here to preview the entire card. Unfortunately, today it is not a triple threat. We are missing Dan the Man. He'll be back soon. But in the meantime, it is the Shant and...
That's right. I'm making the bold prediction right now. It is I, the commish, your humble, loyal, amazing advocate of the podcast. I'm just going to call it right there. That's my prediction, at least for that. If you guys don't know what that is, then where the hell have you been? Under a goddamn rock.
Well, if you don't know where we've been in regards to wrestling, you can catch all your favorite WWE programming only on the WWE Network for a non-negotiable but very reasonable price of only $9.99.
$9.99?
It's not $10.
Not $1,000, nor is it $1 million.
But $9.99.
Another quick thing to shout out again, the Instagram page is coming. It is in production as we speak. It will be the Anything Wrestling Podcast 1 Instagram page where you will find clips about our recordings, what we have to say, speak, feature, interesting pictures. Again, it's in the works, guys. Give me some goddamn time. Also brought to you today, since we are talking WrestleMania, what is their sponsor again?
I think Snickers.
Snickers. That's all I got. Since it is in a MetLife Stadium, Giants/Jets Stadium, I guess it's fine for it being an East Coast event. Sure, why not? Would have preferred it be back here in the West, but again, can't get what we want.
Always.
That's it. We've been through all the hurdles, all the leaps, bounds, obstacles. Everything's paved out now.
Are you sure?
We have what? SmackDown and NXT TakeOver left?
Yeah, but honestly, I feel like come Saturday or Sunday morning, I feel like we are still immune to change. Because they've been changing this card. They've been changing stipulations.
Again, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping for something big. I also want to have some kind of impact for the shakeup that's coming as well. Since that's like 2 weeks after?
I think so, yeah. It actually would be a healthy way to introduce new storylines and people who become stale, not being their own fault, to just switch over and try something new.
And maybe our foregone NXT competitors actually get some credibility with this shakeup as well. I'm just saying, for the ones that are credible.
Or they don't come to the main roster until they're actually on the main roster.
Mm-hmm. But again, we don't know.
Yeah.
But, let's get straight down to the WrestleMania
match breakdown, guy. Let's do it.
Alrighty, so I think I'm going to have to pull up these lists because it doesn't say it on here. But we're going to start with the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royale. Oh, no, it does have it. Okay. We're going to read Dan's notes first because he's not here. We're going to let you know what he thinks.
Do we have a list of all the competitors?
Yeah. So we'll start with competitors. We got from Monday Night Raw, Dana Brooke, Mickie James, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. Mm-hmm. So the Riott Squad plus 2. From SmackDown Live, we got, I can't believe they're doing this, Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Lana. Yeah, Lana backwards. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega. And only one free agent, NXT's own Nikki Cross. So I'm kind of upset. Now,
you want to read his notes first?
Okay. Okay, that cheers me up a little bit. The uterus trophy makes its return, perhaps.
Hey, it could have a different design.
No, it better have a different fucking design. Give this one to Lacey. I don't think he realizes she's not in it. I guess if they still want to push her, or let Shayna and the girls make cameos and win the whole thing. Horsewomen invasion. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
Thank you.
But that would kind of make sense if, say, Shayna doesn't win Saturday night in her fatal four-way. You can bring her and the other two to interfere in it and just, she wins it.
I feel like because the other two still need some work, Shayna being there could kind of help them. Because,
like just on her own?
Yeah, because it's like anytime when Shayna is kind of beating someone up, the other two sort of come in and make that appearance, and they can kind of improve their craft there. Honestly, I'm going to throw it out there. There are two people that at first, before Asuka got completely screwed over, I was in favor of either Nikki Cross being number one to win or Sonya Deville, number two. However, now seeing how she's been treated, my automatic go-to is the least that you can do is have Asuka win it. You gave her a completely stale and dull title reign. You took the title off of her randomly.
God knows why.
You have buried her beyond belief after she was finally able to get some type of resurrection in late 2018. The least that you can do is have her win the Battle Royal.
Do you think it's because of a language barrier thing?
I hope not.
Because that would be very prejudiced.
That's very prejudiced. And with Asuka, you don't need her to speak. She can come in and say two words and that's it. She's one of those competitors, especially being a Japanese sensation, where her actions do all the talking. She doesn't need to come out there and, talk for 15, 20 minutes and cut a promo. Everybody just wants to see Asuka fight. And there's no language barrier in fighting and wrestling. So,
and even then, like when she does cut promos, her English isn't that bad.
I understand
it's not as
her.
bad as like most people make it out to seem. You're gonna be surprised because I have three directions where I would want this to go.
Okay.
Asuka would be one, just to make her relevant.
Right.
Unless she gets in the shakeup to be thrown into Raw, which would kind of be a super burial. Ruby, just because I've been an advocate of hers for like months now, or Sonya. Let's see what these two are really about in the Battle Royal at one point. Let's pin them like in a situation where one almost gets eliminated and we can do the separation of the two. I'm just saying. That's what I want to see.
While we're on it, I read a rumor that apparently the plan before was to have Mandy Rose versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Again? Mm-hmm. You saw the results of Fastlane.
And the way she got her jaw kicked off?
Jesus Christ, that was kind of creepy. It was. I felt bad for her.
But, yeah, I really feel bad for Asuka. I really do.
I feel bad for this women's division.
And now that they're apparently unifying the championships, it's like that is one opportunity that you could have given a separate competitor on a separate show, and now you're taking that away. Why?
My thing is like, okay, if you're unifying the belts, are you doing it where that champion has the freedom, just like the tag champs do, to cross over to different shows?
That would make it fair.
I would be okay with that, because now you have a champion who's willing to travel and prove herself on every show. Kind of like what used to be back in 2002 when you had the undisputed champion.
Or the hardcore championship?
Yeah. They can go anywhere they wanted, just as long as they're defending it. I don't know. I'm kind of jaded. I feel bad for this entire women's division.
It's a shame because I feel like we are basing our predictions off of the politics as opposed to who we feel like has made the most improvement.
Exactly.
When we selected winners for the Royal Rumble, we were strictly going off of who's made the most impact this past year, who's made the most improvement. And that was Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and both of them won. Now I feel like it's because they've screwed over Asuka. How can the fans remedy it? She can be our pick for the Battle Royal. It's like that's the least that you can do for her.
And if you don't do that, then I don't know at this point. I really don't.
I wouldn't blame her if she walked out tomorrow.
Again, The t-shirt company is hiring. Moving on. Okay, so you're set on Asuka.
Yeah.
I have 3. I know I should have 1. I'm gonna put Dan's down as Shayna. Moving on to the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the WWE Women's Tag Championship. You have the Boston Hug Connection versus the Divas of Doom. And if you don't know who that is, Beth Phoenix and Natty. Versus the Iconics of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay versus No Personality and No Face. You know who I'm talking about.
Who you talking about?
Nia Jax and Tamina. So here's my thing. You saw Raw yesterday, right? For once, I can agree with everything Corey Graves said about Sasha Banks.
That's him every single week.
But he has a point. It's like you put Bayley in to do all the work. And what does she do? Oh, I want to be the glory hog. You saw it in that 8 women's tag match yesterday. Like, no one wants to see you in there. Everyone was excited for Beth.
By the way, Beth still got it.
6-7 years later, she can still kick ass.
What's so funny is that match, seeing Beth do that, I was a little bit more invested now than I was before. Do you want to read Dan's notes first before we...
It's really so sad the way he writes it.
Here we go.
We discussed this one a bit last week, but I'll stick with it. Give the Iconics the belts. Meh. And what did I say? I said they're coming up. They're up and comers, and they've beaten them already in a non-title match. And they're not acting as gimmicky as they were. Maybe Billy...
They're entertaining.
Yeah.
Granted, this the screechy voices, but they're really entertaining.
And that's what people want. They want to be entertained.
First of all, someone brought this up. The fact that WWE has this really weird thing where Tamina goes off screen for like 2 years. And then she somehow comes back and she gets put into the spotlight. I would have loved for someone like a Nikki Cross to be in this match right now, as opposed to being in the Battle Royal. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you have Tamina, who it's like, I'm sorry, but what have you exactly done in the last 10 years? Oh, you've become a manager for various competitors. Okay.
All of a sudden you compete.
For the tag team championships.
Like you kind of were showing you were going to go up against Nia, but now you're BFFs and just having no personalities. Just saying.
But yeah, the old school version of me would want Beth and Natalia to win just because of the nostalgic factor. But let's be honest here.
How long does that title reign really last?
Until the next pay-per-view. If that.
Or you give them a week.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, no, it's like, bless you, Natalia, but you've been one of those examples of you'll go away, then you come back, and somehow you're in the spotlight.
You're a face, you're a heel,
you're both, you're none of the above, you're all of the above, you're...
I know, and even half of the year last year, it was like that with her.
She did grow on me a little bit last year, but those were select moments. But again, Natalia and Beth, no, just because of what I stated. Sasha and Bayley, they're okay. I feel like they still need to have their
one's carrying the other. That's me, and I will agree with the tattooed idiot for once on that. No face, no personality.
Yeah, Nia and Tamina. It's like
I would want them to be separated.
Nia should have been like a monster heel right now.
That's how you can build it. Say they lose, which they are. You can have Nia immediately turn on Tamina, be the ultimate heel, and just have her do a whole. I would give her a year run as a heel, but none of this. Oh, I'm the baddest bitch, like none of that. No,
yeah,
less
talking,
less mic time, more action, more aggressiveness. That's how you're gonna build on that, and fans will come back to you for that. I'll come back to her. I don't. You guys saw I was a fan of hers until this weird turn of hers, and it's like I can't buy into you as being the baddest. Or the face buster, breaker, whatever the fuck.
I know that after that whole face breaker thing, the both of you kind of sort of were not invested in Nia.
No, because it's like it doesn't feel genuine. It felt fake.
But I thought that they had caught lightning in a bottle, but then you gave Nia the mic and you let her talk and you let her ramble, and
You see what I saw.
But I was like, you could have had a great Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch match. That would have been like this monster heel who's.
You could have had her be her roadblock to WrestleMania at that point.
Exactly. And it's like she could have been a monster who just dusted off her fist. That's it's those moments where you let that do the talking. You don't give someone a microphone and go, "It's the face breaker now." Like, let it happen.
Let your actions reflect.
Show,
your
don't
words.
tell. Yeah, exactly. And it's like they threw that away. We didn't get a proper Nia versus Becky closure just because
It got skewed out of nowhere in December.
So with all that said, I feel like Iconics, yes, for a second they were annoying just because of the screechy voices, but I felt like somewhere from Elimination Chamber they kind of grew on me, where it's like, you guys are very charismatic, you're working the crowd, you're getting a reaction, you're using that chamber like to make it a little bit, to add comedy to it. Everybody's serious trying to,
because you've seen from Elimination Chamber to now, they're being mentioned more, they're being brought up more, they're still as chatty, but more action now.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like even though Dan's meh about it, I told you, I would think they would be a good fit with those belts right now. Yeah. And if they don't give them the ball to carry it, that tag division will be eliminated soon. Yeah. And that's what's going to suck. So that's my pick along with Dan, the Iconics.
Yeah. Iconics.
You?
Iconics.
All right, so all in. God, dude,
make it double or nothing.
That pay-per-view needs to happen. I'll actually watch it. No lie. I just want to see what it's about. Moving forward, the return of one, the only, Roman Reigns versus what is his nickname again? The Scottish
psychopath.
The Scottish psychopath.
Drew McIntyre.
This has been, I think, for the first time, the best build-up of a story I've seen in a while.
Did you see last night?
I kind of saw the attack, but not as much.
Did you hear his comments?
No.
He said, you should have said no. When you close your eyes, I want you to see me. When you close your eyes, you should have said no. God damn, Drew is a beast. Let me just say this. I know that the three of us were talking about right when Roman came back, how he should be booked. And what I like about his return is that I don't feel like he's taking up a lot of time in the show. I feel like he's coming in increments, he's doing his part, and he leaves. And he doesn't try to have a 3-segment Raw appearance. Roman so far has not gotten any offense in this feud. It's all been Drew, which leads me to believe maybe he's taking it at WrestleMania. Even though I would not be in favor of that, because again, it needs to be slow with Drew. And it's like how we talked about. Drew brought it up, and it's like, you're not 100%. You're not fully recovered. You're not ready for this. Rumors are Dean is going to interfere in this match, maybe assist Roman on his way out. But I have a feeling Roman's going to walk away with this win, even though I would want Drew to win just because he's an absolute beast. However, if Dean interferes and helps Roman win, then that makes it credible. Because then you're not burying Drew, and you're allowing Roman to kind of slowly, climb his way back up.
I can understand that. So let me just write it in real quick. Dan wrote, I would like to see Drew actually still win this because I think it'd be better storytelling.
Yes.
Let Roman do a comeback. He's about to go for the spear and gets Claymored into Raw the next night. Drew is his preference. That's what he said. My thing is, we've seen Roman show signs of capability but still play along the lines of he's not 100%. Because realistically, there could have been a lot more in the attacks lately. But it's all offense on Drew's part and everyone defending Roman between Seth and Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Shield's not going to come back again, but they're still there for him. I kind of want to see Roman win. Let's say Dean does stay. Because now we don't even know what his status is in the company.
Yeah.
Would it be that bad to see a heel turn even further with Dean and Roman, or too soon?
You mean have both of them be heel?
No, like Roman and Dean go
Feud?
1-on-1.
I'm scared thinking about that. Just because I think back to Seth and Dean, and I remember all those comments that Dean said, and it's like,
You think he could
what
get
are
worse?
you gonna say now?
Okay.
You know?
That would be one direction I want it. Otherwise, yeah, you can have like Roman still look weak and Drew play into like, oh, you're never gonna be 100%. I'm, like I said, what destroyed your team. You will not come back from this. And then Dean just helps him. We don't know.
We don't, yeah.
But who do you got? Roman or Drew?
I want Drew, but I'm gonna say Roman is walking out of this one, winning the title. Winning the match.
So I'm going to say Roman, right?
I'm saying Roman, even though I want Drew.
All right, so I'm going to put us down for Roman. Dan's in on
Drew.
Drew. Moving further, let us go into the Intercontinental Championship. One, Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor. The Demon King.
Thank you.
Finn Balor. Dan wrote, I don't really want Finn to leave with the belt, but as I've been calling for months, I want the Demon to win. So I'm split. So clean win by Finn. I think he wants the Demon King to win, not Finn. And honestly, I think if you've noticed, when he is the Demon King, he's still undefeated.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to squash the match, though. I think it's actually going to be more competitive than they have been in a while now. They've had B-plus matches, in my opinion. I think when Finn gets into character, his A game comes up all the time. And this is me seeing it in a perspective where Finn is fairly new to me. Bobby Lashley, like, don't get me wrong, he's a great in-ring competitor. Granted, he has the worst annoying manager of all time. I think I can think of a more annoying manager. But I see the Demon King winning this.
I do too, but it sucks that I'm not invested.
Why aren't you invested?
I just feel like they've beaten this dead horse, like...
Of this rivalry?
Yeah, they had Finn win, what was it, at Royal Rumble. And then you did stuff at Fastlane and Elimination Chamber, and it's like you had the 1-on-2 handicap matches, and then you had Jinder Mahal replace Leo Rush, and it's like if you can win, you'll get your title shot. I'm not invested. I really am not.
What makes you lose investment?
Again, they've beaten this dead horse. We've seen this before. We've seen Finn win. We've seen him take on Lashley in a handicap match, and it's like you have shown us more than enough previews of what happens when these two get in the ring. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like Lashley has not been built up as the monster that he should have been. Finn has just kind of been there.
Well, because they don't know what to do with Finn. My thing is, it's like, I think this needed to happen a while back. And you could have ended this rivalry back at Royal Rumble. But the problem is, Finn was stuck with Brock. You could have built on something if you had Lashley interfere in that match. Because we still don't know the answer of who's better, Brock or Bobby. However, again, WWE doesn't know how to carry the ball with certain people. And right now, these two are stuck in a limbo where it's like, And we'll put the belt on you. No, we'll put it on you. No, we'll do a 1-on-2. No, we'll do a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2. You find tag team partners, blah, blah. I get where you're going with it. I think this needs to happen, though, because it would be a definitive win that Finn gets over Bobby, because this time he has only Bobby to pin for the belt. He pinned Lio Rush for it, not Bobby Lashley. That's where I'm going with it. I say the Demon King is going to win.
Yeah, me too.
So, that's all our picks right there. Let's see. Moving further, we have the United States Championship match with one Rey Mysterio.
The 619
versus the submission machine, Joey Samoa Joe.
The home wrecker.
Yeah, Samoa Joe. I don't care for this.
Yeah,
I get that he's a champion finally, but I feel like that belt has been a gimme belt, and that's what's sad.
That's another belt where there's been a lot of hot potato going on. I personally feel like we're gonna have Dominic involved somehow. Maybe Rey Mysterio wins, just because I don't know. Samoa Joe, it's been very like start stop. He's
what
great
happened to the charisma he had with Impact, with TNA,
with NXT.
It was all there, and now you're on the main roster, and you're like, you're good as a heel, but you're boring as a heel. How is that possible? Heels are supposed to entertain you with their bullshit.
I think it might be a booking thing.
But
That's the
I
thing.
just don't get it, though. It's so bad because it's like, he has charisma. He has the ability to be something great, but he's not. And that's what sucks.
Well, again, he's been victim to someone who will show up, will kind of disappear. Oh, he shows back up, he'll disappear. And it's like, did we ever get a definite ending to the Jeff Hardy versus Samoa Joe feud?
No.
It's
not at all.
See, that's the thing, is that when you jump, like when you start someone and you stop them and you start them and you stop them and you don't finish their feuds, no one's invested. I just feel like this match was just put together just because, hey, United States Championship needs to be on the line. Okay, you and you, go.
Like, it's kind of like thrown in, like, yeah, go for it. Yeah. And that's what sucks. And that's where it's like, who's failed worse, the booking committee, or has it been just like him as his character? Like, let's be honest, you know?
What does Dan think?
Joe wins, beats up Ray. Andrade makes the confusing save, and we finally get our Mexican tag team.
Wow.
I totally forgot about that there was supposed to be a fusion of those two together.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you had a lot of triple threats and fatal four-ways for the U.S. Championship. I felt like you could have had another one. Like Andrade, man, like the guy can go. I'm very high on Andrade. I just feel like he hasn't had the opportunity to shine. With him, it's been, again, very much like start-stop. He's on SmackDown for 1 week, then he's missing for 2 weeks, and then he comes back.
Get rid of Zelina. That has to happen if you want this legitimate tag team, because she's been the annoyance. And it's like, you have him turn what she turns to. No, she's better off as a heel. Let her go support someone that maybe she feels could be more invested and not give in to going tagging with Rey Mysterio.
Aleister Black.
No, I don't think she'll go to her man that quick. Maybe. You never know. I'm just going to say it. Samoa Joe wins and we get Dan's outcome.
I'm going to say Rey Mysterio wins.
Okay. I'm saying that one just because, like, I'm not sold on this match. I'm like, eh. You can put it in the pre-show and I'd be fine.
Yeah, me too.
Moving ahead, finally, something interesting. the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Interesting.
The following participants, and I will start from free agents to SmackDown, Raw, and then celebrity. Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
We have Otis and Tucker. We have EC. No, not one. Not EC2. We have EC3.
EC3. EC3.
From SmackDown, Jeff and Matt Hardy, like they declared. I thought they were only done after that tag match on SmackDown. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Oh.
Shelton Benjamin. Ali. Since we can't say Mustafa Ali anymore.
Why?
You know he changed his name? Andrade. That's all your SmackDown competitors. From Raw, you have Connor, Victor, Rhino, Heath Slater, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, Lince Dorado, Grand Metallic, Kalisto, so I'm assuming Lucha House Party, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. No way. Jose. No way. Jose. Jinder Mahal. God, you guys are just burying this guy. Tyler Breeze, Titus O'Neil, Apollo Crews, Braun Strowman. And then you get your two celebrity idiots of Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Okay.
Can we take out the two idiots now? Like, honestly, like that, they've taken Braun from here.
That's what I was going to say. If we could be serious for a minute. Last year, I guess, okay, you're trying to have some fun. You bring Nicholas, Braun Strowman, and Nicholas Wynn.
But he was almost towards the main event.
He should have been in the main event. And then another year goes by, and this guy still has not had a championship.
Or do you blame that on his antics in the back? Do you blame it on what people have been commentating about him?
I feel like Braun is your one guy. He's a giant. He makes things happen in and outside of the ring. He's very entertaining to watch. He's really humble in real life. I've seen some of his interviews. I'm sorry, Lex Luger, but he's the total package. He's what a Vince McMahon would want.
He's what Vince McMahon actually desires.
Yes.
In an athlete.
So you go from Nicholas last year where it was like, okay, all right, you're trying to have some fun. I get it. And then you have two co-stars from SNL coming in.
Two idiot co-stars, by the way.
I'm just going to throw it out there. Again, the least that you can do is have Braun win. That's it. That's me.
I don't think he realizes this because these two are not in it. R-Truth, or a two-time winner in Cesaro. Totally doesn't realize they're in it.
I mean, usually there's people added or removed up until the actual day of, so you never know. But, hey, Cesaro.
You're upset about that one because your boy doesn't get a push.
I've been upset for a very long time.
Do you care who wins this?
Braun.
Okay. I can care less about this match. I'll be dead honest. It's pre-show. This has pre-show written all over it.
Oh, definitely.
I'm going with Braun as well. Maybe you give him that. Maybe. And that's the sad part, that I feel so jaded by it. As I'm reading this match list, it's not as exciting because we're not getting there.
I brought it up to you guys. Other than like the 4 main events, everything else is meh.
Lackluster, right? Okay. We have AJ Styles versus the Viper, Randy Orton.
The rent is due.
It's time to pay.
Let me just say this. AJ and Randy have been one of those guys. I mean, AJ, he was champion and his title run was Randy is just one of those guys at this point where he's your veteran. Hey, we got one more spot in an Elimination Chamber or Royal Rumble. Randy, get in here. Not that the guy is just the filler, because Randy could have great matches, but that promo that they had on SmackDown, what was it, 2 weeks ago, was absolutely brilliant. I loved every second of it.
I think that's something we haven't seen from Randy in a while, and it's not his fault. It's creative's fault, because it's like you still have someone who's very invested in their career as a veteran, and he's bringing out the best in your new guy, although that guy's been a veteran in wrestling.
Overall, not
Overall.
in WWE, but overall.
But overall. And it's like, if this guy can bring that out of AJ, why not? Like, I like the psychology they're playing into each other. And I'm hoping this is like one of those matches where it's like we're all like, to like, oh shit, this was a good match.
Which is so funny because I feel like AJ kind of had that 2 years ago when he was facing Shane. Last year, we were really looking forward to that match. And
Low blow later.
yep. I think this is gonna be a great match. I'm gonna predict that.
So I'm gonna say what Dan wrote. I could see Randy picking up the win here. Fine with either, as it's a zero stakes matchup, but I'll say Randy. To me, if you give Randy the win, you need to build.
You
more
need to
on
build
this.
it,
You
yep.
need to put something on the line.
Yep.
Because I think we can definitely see the Viper come back in his true nature and be more like
Sick,
aggressive.
twisted.
Yes, and I would love to see that brought out by AJ.
I loved his work last year. The whole gimmick of I'm gonna expose you for who you really are. Especially the stuff that he was doing with Jeff was just wow. Yeah, I think I love both of these guys, but I'm gonna go with Randy on this one.
So that's all for Randy.
And I'm gonna call it right now, phenomenal forearm into an RKO. Throwing it out there. For the finish.
That'd be pretty awesome.
FTW.
Let's see.
Who was your pick?
Oh, Randy.
Randy. Here we go.
Kurt Angle versus
Everyone's favorite constable.
except mine, Baron Corbin. I'm gonna read what he wrote. Oh, I skipped the match, but whatever. Thank God I did, because that one also has me like whatever. I swear, if they don't sub Baron out for a secret Cena, this match is gonna be a low point on the show. But I think Kurt wins either way. Your thoughts on this match?
I think it's time for Kurt to hang up the boots, just because as of recent, it's like, Kurt, bless you, but father time as well as your drug issues have caught up with you.
They're kicking his ass really hard.
You're stumbling, you're stuttering, you're kind of lurching. We need to stop. And I think that this whole Kurt Angle farewell tour has been a great idea. You don't want to exit, you don't want to end a Kurt Angle career with a Baron Corbin, because first of all, that doesn't go hand in hand. It has nothing to do with anything. Second of all, no one wants to see it. Third of all, submitting or substituting a secret Cena, as Dan said, I think would be what's best for business.
The fact that people want to see John Cena. Let's just start right there. Last year, everyone was so sold on the fact that you're just being an a-hole. No one cared what you did.
What happened last year?
Hold on, I'm building to that. No one gave a damn. Oh, I'm going to sit in the crowd if he's not going to show up. All right, cool. And yeah, you're being Mr. Celebrity, Mr. Hey, I'm enjoying the moment, yeah. And then you get the referee saying, he's here. Oh, goody. We have to see John Cena now. Nobody wanted to see it at first until he really arrived and buried him under 2 minutes. Bless you, Undertaker, for your 24-2 record, by the way. Thank you for making 24, John Cena. Thank you for that. Now let's go further 1 year. Why? I wish he was here for it. But why does it have to be Baron Corbin? The rivalry you've built has been the biggest lackluster disappointment between the two of you, to be honest with you. I've never been a fan of Baron Corbin's. I don't like his gimmick. I don't like his crybaby mentality. I love the fact that he got so angry and had to mention his social media account yesterday, how they've been bombarding it, that he's unworthy to be Kurt's final opponent. I love every single minute of it because it's the reality. He does not deserve to be Kurt Angle's last opponent.
Don't deserve it.
Don't deserve it. Am I hoping for John Cena to come out? Yes.
Yes.
Does it have to be Mr. You Can't See Me? Sure. Could it be Thug Life? No. Probably not. Could it be just you walking out to the SmackDown theme song like you did in the very beginning and then introduce yourself to Kurt Angle? No. But what I would love to see is for some reason Baron got attacked. Like, don't even let them have the match. Like, let Baron get attacked and buried somewhere in the back. So Kurt's just standing there like, all right, who is it going to be? I didn't come to WrestleMania to say goodbye like this. I came to show the world I have one last match left in me. Let your little soldier boy walk out there in all his glory that he's been for the WWE for years.
And ironically, he will get a very big pop.
Ironically, right?
Yes.
And then just to play along with it, you can have Kurt the same way they introduced themselves. Who the hell are you? But this time, let Kurt smack John.
Yes. Very poetic justice right there.
And you could even build it in some way like, so it's going to be you. Let me show you how much years and years of ruthless aggression you've made me hold back on you. Bam! And we finally get the last match of Kurt Angle's career.
Yes.
That's what I want. I can't believe I'm advocating for John Cena to be at WrestleMania this year. That's the sad part. But I think it has to be him. You go full circle with those two.
Yes.
You go full circle with what I think. Honestly, I don't think he's ever been in my top 10, but he squeezes up at number 10. Kurt Angle does. Because whether it was in WWE or Impact, he's accomplished, I think, every single thing except one, and it still pisses me off to this day they didn't give it to him. A Royal Rumble win.
I was thinking about that yesterday.
Like, that's the same with Kane. You gave those two everything except that one win. Why not? Like, don't get me wrong. I think it would have been great if you gave Kurt Angle the Royal Rumble win back in 2002 instead of Triple H. But, again, you should have given him one Royal Rumble win at least. That would be the greatest resume right there. As far as someone who was an Olympic gold medalist with a broken freaking neck.
So, what are we predicting?
No matter what, Kurt's the winner.
Yeah.
Whether it's Baron or John.
Yes.
But I think, and I'm glad he didn't wrestle last night, I think he needs to save up as much energy as he has to give at least a decent match. I'm not expecting an A match out of it, but I'm expecting something.
I would say a 10-minute match would be fine.
Yeah. You have so much going on this card where it's like...
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Honestly, I don't think not only are we going to have 3 matches on the pre-show, I think we're probably going to have like 4. They're going to probably try to squeeze as much as they can into that pre-show.
So let's move on. I skipped this one not by choice but by mistake. The Falls Count Anywhere match between Sheamus McManus versus one Mike the Miz. I don't know his last name. I don't care. Mizanin. I have a show on USA Network. Why do I have a show? The Miz. I'm gonna read his.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's do Miz in a double turn. Not sure how, but book it. Shane sees the error of his ways after brutalizing Miz. Miz pulls a Shane and picks up the dirty win.
Wow.
I don't like that.
I disagree. I like it, but I disagree just because you just had them turn. It's awfully fresh. I'm looking forward to this match. One thing I can tell you about Shane, as I've learned, is don't sleep on him because he will come out and he can have match of the night.
He pulls it out of his ass. Out of nowhere sometimes.
And The Miz, I like how they booked him on SmackDown where you had a herd of security and tag teams come at him, but he just decimated every single one of them. I'm even calling a spot in this match where The Miz takes Shane up to his father in the crowd and goes, smack him. And you have The Miz's father just smack Shane McMahon, and knock the taste out of his mouth. If we're doing Falls Count Anywhere, this is your opportunity to make this match stand out from the rest.
I think this is the only way where Shane can really make like a big holy shit moment.
Yes.
Again.
Let them go into the crowd. Let them go up to the ramp. Let them use weapons. Let them use the announce table. Don't just make it a 12-minute match where 9 minutes is in the ring. You have one spot outside and 1, 2, 3 pinfall. Make it stand out. Make it unique. Let these guys go out there and do their thing. Don't water them down. Don't try to stifle them. I like this match. I was willing to give it a chance since the whole co-besties in the world thing. I'm like, I like it. It's been a very fast build because at first it was, be my partner. No, I don't think so. Be my partner. No, I don't think so. Okay, we're partners. We're champions. We lost the championships. Shane turns, and here we are. It's been 3 months of just very fast-paced building, but I think you can cap it off by having a great match and keep The Miz a face because for once, his face turn is believable.
It's genuine.
By the way, Miz goes over on this one. Just saying.
So, I don't like how Dan booked it. Not to disagree with him. It just doesn't work for me. With the way you're booking it, I like it. I would want this to be a chaotic match.
Yes.
But I think in a way, you kind of have to put Miz off screen.
What do you mean?
He's having a baby soon. He's going to leave. I mean, you can give him an early exit for now, but you have to make it a big exit. At least have him pick up the win. But, like, I know you can kayfabe an injury. You can.
Or he does a high spot to the point where he hurts Shane and himself.
Yeah.
And because of that, I got the victory, but got to take some time off.
Yeah. But you don't have him announce it. It's just...
Let it happen.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
But I think that's one way of doing it. I think we're all in on The Miz winning this.
Yes.
Keep him as a face. And then... if the shakeup happens, keep him on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Have him come after whoever he wants at that point. Or let's just see where we go. I like where this went. Yeah, it went a little too fast, but it was going to happen. But it happened in a way where we knew it would be Shane. So we're all in on The Miz. Maybe this one might be... I'm going to skip one, and I'm going to say this match gets put on the pre-show. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Ness for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. These guys put on a show. Every single pre-show they put on a show. And I think that will be the main event of the pre-show.
If I could borrow a page from New Day, shame. Absolute shame. You have a group of superstars who consistently give you a match. Give you an almost 5-star match. They always bring something to the table. On a weekly basis, they give you a great television programming. And yet, time after time after time, they are relegated to being on the pre-show. I would say do these guys a favor, at least for Mania, do not book them on a pre-show. Put the U.S. title match on the pre-show. Put both
battle royals.
Both battle royals on the pre-show. You will save up enough time on the main card to have this match there. Again, I picked Buddy Murphy. I've been very high on him. Tony Nese, it's fine. It's just he's been another victim of I'm going to disappear for a minute and I'm going to come back. And I'm going to disappear and I'm going to come back. And when you have people doing that, you're obviously not invested.
Well, let me tell you what Dan wrote because it kind of makes me sad. Buddy again because I'm not invested in his opponent. Shrugging emoji. And I can agree with that because he had so many better opponents he could have had. Well, okay, I'm gonna pull up the tournament. Let me show you who was in that tournament that I think would have put on a better match than
Well,
Tony
I know
was.
Cedric Alexander was.
He was a finalist.
But I think about it, I'm like, we've already had that a couple times.
Okay, I wasn't gonna even mention him. Akira Tozawa,
Okay.
Brian Kendrick, Drew Gulak,
Yeah.
Kalisto.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. At least one of those, at least Kalisto or Akira to me would have been a better opportunity to make a better show.
Had Hideo still been on the roster, I would have been high on Hideo versus Buddy.
Hideo found a way to get lazy though. That was the problem. And it's like, bro, you're going to AEW now with that mentality. Just because they're going to give you what you want. And it's like, no, you're not guaranteed that. Cody's not going to give you exactly what you want. You have to earn it. I'm not invested in this match at all. I am invested in the match itself because of what these guys are capable of doing. Opponent-wise,
the story.
It's like literally like, okay, what's going to happen on 12-5 Live next week? It's all that can happen for me.
But I'm going with Buddy Murphy.
I think we all are. And that's the sad part. I think we're finally getting into our main events. So we're going to start with the no holds barred retirement match with one Dave Bautista.
Give me what I want.
What do you want?
Give me what I want.
What do you want?
You know what I want. Give me what I want.
What do you want? What you really want?
Give me what I really, really want.
What do you want?
The one thing that I've always wanted.
What do you really want?
Give me what I want.
What do you want?
Saliva.
Saliva. I'll tell you what I want. What I really want. I wanna, and it just goes on forever.
Doing the job for the letter.
God bless him for that. Paul Triple H Levesque.
Dan?
This makes me so sad in what he actually wrote because I read it before. My thoughts on this one are that with how garbage this buildup has been, this better not be Triple H's swan song. This feud was poorly structured and it would be a shame to see him go out like this. So I'm saying he's rooting for Triple H.
They had me when Batista beat up, quote unquote, Ric Flair. I thought that was great because you didn't see it coming. It was one of those savage attacks where it's like, holy shit, like, and that's the best part is that we live in a predictable wrestling world now, and the fact that no one saw that coming, it's like, oh shit, okay, now you got me invested.
So this is the thing that I liked about it. It's that this was coming. That attack was coming somehow, but no one knew it would happen. Because it was built up way before then.
Yeah.
And we all saw that with Dave's promo last night where he's like, this man has done everything ever. Except beat me.
The fact that they continuously played that throughout the package was brilliant.
Yeah, and that just shows like he still knows how to do the psychological game.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that buildup of it. And then we get months later where this happens to Flair and it's like, okay. Maybe you guys needed a little more time to build it up, though. Because you could have done so much more build-up. Because, honestly, with the whole Spice Girls thing, I was just like, okay, it's kind of a gimmick.
I think they realized that they screwed up and they made fun of them their own selves. Because when you had Triple H come out and...
read the letter.
Yeah. Personally, Triple H has got to win this one.
I think so too. I think this will be his final, like, quote unquote accomplishment in the WWE.
You think so?
Well, what else does he have to prove? What else does Triple H need to win?
I don't know.
He's banked in on everything at this point. What? He needs one of his kids to grow up and start having grandkids?
No, actually, there's one very big accomplishment that he still needs to do.
Which is?
Take over.
Oh, everything.
Everything. Vince.
It's time. It's not Vader time.
Oh.
No, it's not, because this one is it really is time for Vince to.
You have lost touch a long time ago.
There's one thing he's still keeping touch with, and I'll tell you why later when we discuss it. Okay. But everything else, no, you really need to let go.
Bottom line, Triple H has got to win. He's been doing the favors over the last couple of years for a whole bunch of competitors.
Okay, let's name the list. Seth, he put Seth over.
Roman.
Put Roman over. And
go ahead.
He put the idiot Raccoon over. God, Steph, I'll never forgive you for that. But he put Kurt Angle over, which I'm okay with.
I just, again, I feel like this should have been one of your build-ups where it was less talking and more backstage brawl, parking lot attack.
Because the way Batista did his promo last night was simple. It was perfect.
I liked it.
The video package did all his talking. And all you had to say was, kiss my ass.
Hunter, kiss my ass.
And that's it. And to me, at first I wasn't sold. Up until that point, I'm like, all right, I believe this rivalry. I like it now. I want to see who wins, but I think Triple H needs to be the one.
Triple H needs to win this one. Yes, absolutely.
If he does the job to bury himself for Batista, it's like, okay, you're now completely retired and being corporate. But at that point, you need to take over.
Not just NXT.
Raw, SmackDown, 205. They all need to be yours at this point.
Main event.
Everything. So it's all on Triple H now.
Yes. Dan said Triple H, right?
Yeah, because he wants Triple H to win, but not in a sense where it's like you lose to Batista.
Blue Tista.
All right, so I'm going to have you pick which championship you want to discuss first. Either SmackDown's, Raw's, or the Women's Championship.
Let's do SmackDown.
Okay. We finally get it. It's finally happening. Kofi Mania exists again.
Unless if we get one last
I
hurdle.
swear if there's one more tonight, I can't do this no more. Kofi Kingston versus the new Daniel Bryan. I think Vince has given us the greatest buildup of this. This is one of Vince's only good workings. Because, let's be real, he's given us the best matches out of Kofi in his entire 11-year career. As far as like gauntlet matches, 2 gauntlet matches, the Elimination Chamber.
Handicap match.
It's been amazing. And it is reminiscent of Daniel Bryan. He's the B plus player.
But with Kofi, you did what Daniel Bryan did in the span of 2 months.
Which is amazing that Vince could have pulled that off. So that's what I said. That's what I meant to say. Vince has lost touch on a lot of things except this.
What does Dan think?
Kofi should win, get his moment, and honestly, he can drop it at Backlash. But give the man his due, damn it. I don't think he should drop it at Backlash. I think he should be able to carry that belt for a few months, more than just a month. Because,
well, I think I read it last time. I think your next pay-per-view is actually Money in the Bank. So, you can have Kofi lose to maybe a cash-in and then build on that. But I would have loved to see Kofi go on just a tirade of, I'm champion now, I'm a defending champion, come at me. Whoever it is, Kevin Owens, Ali, Daniel Bryan, you want your rematch? Come and get it. For a second last night, I was thinking about it. I'm like, please don't pull a Shinsuke where he qualifies, he goes to WrestleMania, he has a lackluster match, and he just loses, and he spirals back down that card. With Kofi, the audience is cheering for him, everybody's invested, and the New Day, I'm not just talking about Kofi, I'm talking about like Xavier and E. Their interviews as of recent,
their mic skills have gotten better.
If you really look at it, it's like, I feel like you're doing a promo, but about 80% of this promo is coming from the heart. It's how the three of you have genuinely felt. The fact that we've just been afterthoughts. Oh, WrestleMania, host of WrestleMania, New Day. We've just kind of been penciled in as the gimmick, the pancakes, the cereal, the bootios. But the fact is, we're all really good competitors. And you would see that with when it was New Day versus Usos, when it was the New Day versus Bludgeon Brothers. They would have great matches. But it seems like time after time, you're just a tag team.
And this is where Vince wanted to see it happen. He brought that out not just in Kofi, but in Big E and Xavier. Because I swear that tag team gauntlet was the best thing I've seen in a while as far as tag team competition has. I mean, because, okay. Yeah, I'm backtracking back to Raw real quick. I swear that tag match last night was the most boring thing I've seen up until the aftermath of it. The fact that, I don't even know the name.
Revival?
The Revival. That they had to cheat to win. It's like, they didn't even get a pop when they were announced. Before the match started.
I think they literally came out during commercial.
No, but then when they announced who's who, they barely got a pop. Aleister Black and Ricochet got more of a pop.
Well,
singles. And that's the thing. These two don't carry themselves as like, yes, we're a tag team champs. We're here. They've been carrying themselves like, yeah, we have the belts. We finally deserved it. We won them. We're not doing anything to stand out.
They're not doing anything new from what they did in NXT.
But that's the thing. You need to. You can't just be a formidable tag team, claim you're the best, and not prove it and show it. They prove it, they don't show it to me. Now, with the New Day, what, 5-time or 6-time tag champs?
6?
I know they got coronated by King Booker for being in the 5-time club. I think 5.
Might have been 5-time.
But at least with Big E and X, I swear, like, all their matches were great. All those tag matches last week were great. And even before, when you would see them compete instead of Kofi, they've always been good competitors. And I dare say this, if you have them get a tag run on their own without Kofi, they'll succeed.
I think you can pull it off as a intimate Shield angle where it's like, Kofi, you're the champ, you do your thing. But we're going to do our thing as well. Yeah, we're here for you. We're not splitting up. We're here for you. You go defend your belt. We'll be over here. Anytime you need us,
we'll come back.
We'll be out there. But,
because they're the definitive thing of the Shield for SmackDown.
Yeah. They're the definition of a tag team. Like in the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
The one team that time after time they've evolved. They know who they are. They know what they are. They've become great assets to the company.
And they're starting to build on this momentum that, hey, we're not going to be a joke anymore. We're not going to just be that fun-loving group. We're competitors. We're athletes who want more than just belts.
I wouldn't mind
history.
A never give up New Day, where you tone down the pancake, you tone down the twerking, and you turn up
the intensity.
Yeah, the Kofi Kingston story, the don't give up, the go for it. You got to fight for it. You got to ask for it. You got to kill for it. Because that's their interviews as of recent. That's what it's been. There was this one interview where Kofi, it was after the very last Gauntlet match where Vince was like, you have your match at Mania if you can beat this one last competitor, and Daniel Bryan comes out and beats him. And you go backstage and it's E and X who are like, Kofi, you climb up that mountain, they're gonna put another mountain in front of you. Let's quit. Let's get out of here. No. And again, I'm
because that's the house winning.
It's like, by the same token, you three should be the last ones to consider quitting, just because, again, as a tag team, you've been very consistent, very believable. But by the same token, just because you're on the card doesn't mean that you're satisfied. Because the three of these guys are very charismatic. E was doing okay on his own when he was Intercontinental Champ.
Kofi can prove he could be a singles or tag competitor any time of the day, whether face or heel.
X
is better as a tag team partner.
Yeah, but I feel like now that he's had the experience of being in a tag team, he can branch out and be a singles competitor. I don't think it's going to last very long, just because seeing how NXT call-ups and other veterans who've been on the roster have been treated, I'm like, you guys are probably better off staying as a tag team. But I will go back to this match. I'm expecting a great match with great hype. What we saw the last 10 minutes of Elimination Chamber was beyond amazing. That pop that Kofi was getting was just unbelievable.
And the fact that he's like, go ahead, kick me again. I dare you to.
Yeah.
He was ready for it. When you have the audience eating out of the palm of your hand and just so invested, because we haven't seen crowd investment in a while. And Pittsburgh. And to see that, I swear, even for once, I was like, okay, Kofi lasted in the Elimination Chamber. Now he's left with Daniel Bryan. Let's just see Daniel Bryan win. That's how I was, because I knew he would win. But as the match was going, I'm like, oh shit, I actually want Kofi to win.
And they were teasing it really bad.
Because and that was great. That these two knew how to bring that out of each other. And they're going to do it again. Except this time, Kofi's going to prove I am the champion now. I'm the one who's going to win.
By the way, the closure of SmackDown last week, where you had E and X win and Kofi comes out and the rest of the roster comes out and is clapping and congratulating him, it's almost like all of them are like, we feel it the same way that you feel. You've been here for 11 years. When it comes to Royal Rumbles or Elimination Chambers, you stand out. But you haven't been given your proper due. This is our way of saying that you deserve it.
And
Go out there and do it. Yeah.
Like, show us that you're ready. And he is.
He is.
So we're all in on Kofi.
Yeah.
If they don't give it to him,
with very slight hesitation.
If Vince swerves this another way, I swear, and then I'll think, nope, give it all to Hunter. Just fucking do it already. Okay. Last two, you get to pick again.
Well, we're saving the triple threat for last.
All right. So we got one, Sako Rollinsyan, Seth Rollins, Mr. Beast Slayer, Mr. Burn It Down,
Architect.
The Architect taking on the reigning, defending,
undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar.
I don't know how he does it.
That's a very good throat cleanse.
I don't know how you do it, Paul, but God bless you. What we've been waiting to see for how many years?
Do you want to read Dan?
Yeah. Okay, he kills our momentum. Not hyper invested in the match as a whole. Will it be good? Probably. Am I cool with it? As long as Brock doesn't leave with the belt, yes.
So,
how long has this match been the build-up? Not a year. Not a few months.
Since Royal Rumble.
No. 4 years. Since 31.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Seth has wanted this opportunity against Brock for years. And I'll be honest, he put Brock down, but he didn't pin him for the belt 4 years ago. He pinned Roman for it. And I told you then that was the greatest Money in the Bank cash-in I had ever seen in the Money in the Bank's history.
To quote JBL, the heist of the century.
Yes, it is. And now, 4 years later, WrestleMania comes and we get the event we've been wanting to see one-on-one. Brock versus Seth. I told you, Seth is one of the biggest reasons why I came back to watching WWE. And he really, at one point he was Shawn Michaels 2.0, but I think he proved Shawn right or wrong at one point. He has become better. He has become the better version of him.
Wow.
Because Shawn told him, no one ever wants to be a better them. They want to be the next so-and-so.
You don't want to be a version 2.
Yeah. And I think Seth has finally proven, I'm not going to be Shawn Michaels 2.0. I'm going to be Seth fucking Rollins.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry I said it that way, but that's how I usually hear it in my head instead of Seth freaking Rollins.
I feel like the shirt also insinuates that.
Yeah.
With the S, F, N, and the R.
And I've been wanting to see these two compete one-on-one. The build-up has been great. God, I swear I wish I had an agent like Brock because of how much money he makes off appearances.
Let me just say this. I love Paul Heyman. I love Brock Lesnar. But it's just been too repetitive.
I think they know it too.
It seems like now it's been 2 years exactly that we've had before every single pay-per-view. This is my client, Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar.
My client.
Here's what's going to happen. F5, 1, 2, 3. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. I love you, Paul. You are God on the microphone, but by God, it is getting too repetitive. You are pulling the Rusev of a couple years ago where it was the same thing over and over and over again. I'm thinking maybe a 10 to 12 minute match. I'm thinking a couple curb stomps. You're going to have your couple F5s. I'm hoping that Seth wins because Seth is right. We need to have an active champion that's making an appearance every single week. Seth, we saw what he could do with the Intercontinental Championship. He made that title relevant again. I only dare to imagine what he can do with the Universal Championship. I'm saying Seth, and I'm calling it right now. I would love to see a curb stomp from the top rope. I'm calling it right now. Because it's like, that's what you need to do. You need to have a big finish. You can't just have a regular curb stomp and finish the match. You need to have something spectacular. Yeah, that's me.
So my thing is with this match, it's like I said, it's been a build-up. We wanted this. We're finally going to get it. Seth needs to win. That belt needs to come back on TV more than what Brock's done with it, more than what we've gotten out of Roman, unfortunately, even though he never lost it. But with it being on Seth's shoulder, around his waist, we're going to see what that belt is capable of being defended, taken away by someone other than Brock. But it'll be a championship worth being invested in all over again.
Yes.
And I think Seth is your main eventer for a good while now.
Yes.
I kind of wanted to play devil's advocate with this of what if we get some kind of weird turn from Seth because he's been a face for more than a year now. But I would think it's inappropriate right now.
Yeah.
Just because we've been riding on this momentum with Seth.
It's too hot.
It's this journey of a guy who's been here, he's officially a Triple Crown winner already? A Grand Slam champ?
Yeah.
This would be icing on that cake. For a guy who's had a career like he has. To be claimed by critics and wrestling analysts as the next Shawn Michaels. No, you're now more than that. You are Seth effing Rollins. And that's who you have to prove to be this Sunday. We're all in for him. My thing is, I don't think this match will be premature because I think this will be what leads into the main event. And I know that he will give us the best show possible. Which we now go to what I kind of knew was going to happen, but I'm hoping for what I hope happens. So we have the one, the man, Becky Lynch,
The Baxter.
versus the woo. I live in his shadow still, although I'm nothing like him. Charlotte Flair, your current WWE SmackDown Women's Champ, versus, let's get it out of the way, the Mouse Rat, Raccoon, Bluebird, Red Wing, Kabuki Spiderweb, video game fuck, Ronda Rousey, your Raw Women's Champion.
Dan's comments?
If Becky Lynch isn't the first woman to hold the Raw and SmackDown Women's titles simultaneously, WrestleMania this year is a shame. That's really my whole comment. Becky Lynch all day. I will agree with that. I will wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Be honest, you have, this is your time to really let this one out as far as the main event goes.
It has to be Becky. I don't see any justification of having Charlotte winning, of having Ronda winning.
Well, let's get this out the way. We know Ronda's not going to win. That, for what we know now, we'll play devil's advocate with this, but for what we know, she's not the winner.
I was reading a rumor where it said the finish of this match has still not been determined because apparently, this is just what I read, don't know if it's true or not, Ronda is not okay with tapping out and losing this match. To me, the biggest justification of ending this match is having a point where Charlotte, she gets Piper's pitch, she gets a finisher, she's out of the ring. It's Ronda and Becky. Becky slaps in that disarm her, and Ronda taps out. That is the best way to just bring everything together and have that closing moment. You look at one person, if you were to ask someone who's the one woman who you feel like has stepped up their game, who has facilitated change, who has gone above and beyond this past year, it's Becky. And the best part of it is she's been doing this since August. It hasn't been for a complete year. It's only been for a couple months. And everybody is riding this wave of momentum. Every time she grabs a microphone, she has something intriguing to say. She can have great matches. She deserves everything that she has coming to her. So I agree. We can, if we had, let's say, if every single match on this card delivers and we get to the main event and Becky doesn't win, for me, it's like it deflates everything. It's like,
this pay-per-view was a waste.
yes. If WWE wants to prove that they're not listening, they'll have someone else win other than Becky. But if they want to prove that, hey, the fans are truly the authority now, like we said back in December, Becky will win the match.
So here's my thing. I hate that I saw this video recently, but 2 years ago, Paul Heyman said Charlotte Flair will be in the main event of WrestleMania. I don't know when, but she will be in the main event. And it scares me that video has come back to surface recently, because it's like, is that a preliminary indication that she's going to win this all? Because maybe that's the face you want. That's the person you want to unify the belts with. I told you I am not okay with the belts being unified.
Yeah.
Because you take away everything that Asuka, that Mandy, that Sonya, that all the women's roster of SmackDown has done. You take that all away from them. And now you're taking everything that Ruby, Liv, Sarah, Dana, all the Raw competitors have done as well by unifying those belts. But if you allow this belt to travel, I'm okay with it. I will be okay with it. As long as you have a competitive champion. Obviously, I don't see that in Ronda because she's always going to brag that she's the baddest on the planet. No one can touch her, blah, 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 bullshit. Whatever, you know?
But Becky did make one comment yesterday on Raw. I don't know if you caught it. And said that Ronda is the most beatable when she thinks she's invincible.
Exactly. And her opponents have proven that in UFC. Now her opponents in WWE will prove that. Because we've seen Ronda be quote-unquote undefeated since WrestleMania last year. I get it. Vince invested a lot of money in her. She's brought in people who weren't fans of WWE all of a sudden. Now they are. But here's my thing. You built a story around someone who you never thought could climb this high in Becky. She wanted to quit at one point. She was going to get fired at one point. You bring her back. You put her as the number 1 draft pick for SmackDown. You give her the belt once. You have her almost get the belt back. And what did you do? You told her you're going to turn. Did anyone believe she was going to turn? Yeah. But they wanted to see that turn. They wanted to see her as a heel. But now that people love her, you're the anti-hero. You're the one who has carried this momentum of like, I've been screwed. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, however the hell I want, and this belt will be mine as long as it's around my waist. Oh, there's someone in this sport that claims they're the baddest on the planet, that they're untouchable. Well, I'm going to prove they are. I'm going to prove that they're the baddest, but I'm going to be the one that beats them. We were having that build up at Survivor Series, and then someone jaded it a little bit. And it's like, we never let go of it because we wanted to see it.
Yeah.
So am I ready to see Becky and Ronda alone in the ring? Yes. I don't want Charlotte eliminated immediately like that. I want all 3 of them to fight each other out. At one point, I want to see what we saw with Shawn and Hunter versus Stevie. They both tried their hardest to get rid of him to just focus on themselves. If I see that, unfortunately, with Becky and Ronda, fine. You want to eliminate Charlotte as much as you can, go for it. If it leaves the 2 of you, and granted she'll try to come back in, cool. I want to see what was supposed to happen in November happen Sunday.
You know what's so funny? Something just hit me. We all say that Charlotte was the one that was just added into this match. How would you feel if I said Becky was the one that was added to this match?
What do you mean?
So, if you think about it, history indicates that at Survivor Series it was supposed to be Ronda and Becky.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, the rumor speculating was that the match at Mania was going to be Charlotte versus Ronda. But then, thanks to what you said, with Nia doing the face breaker thing, okay, Becky gets taken out. Now Charlotte's in. Well, okay, we get that match, so it's not really going to mean much at WrestleMania now. At the same time, Becky is building up this momentum where it's like you penciled in your main event, but now you got me in here who's making all the noise. You're not going to ignore me, are you? She goes on to win the Royal Rumble. She gets taken out. She gets put it back in. Bottom line, we got Ronda versus Charlotte this year at WrestleMania, which is what was penciled in. But then you have Becky who goes, so this was your plan? Now I'm going to throw a wrench into your plans. And now she's a part of the triple threat. Do you see what I'm saying right now? So
you think Becky's the X factor overall, not Charlotte?
And Becky says it in all of her interviews, and I'm like, I feel like she's trying to hit a nerve where she's like, I was the one that they didn't plan for. I was the one person that they were trying to get rid of. I was the spoke in
the wheel that was broken off.
They wanted their main event. They didn't want they didn't want me anywhere near it, which is why they took me out. They put me back in. They took me out. They put me back in. But I'm here and I'm gonna win. So kind of poetic justice if you think about it. Now let's talk about that segment last night. Because that was the first time where I was like, you know, I agree with each and every component in this match for the first time. Whereas opposed to before, I was like, can't it just be Ronda and Becky? Like, Charlotte, what are you doing here? And after last night, I'm like...
It makes more sense now.
Yeah.
This is my thing, and I've been wondering this. Who's been really building this story? This has nothing with Vince on it. I feel like Vince was added in to add Charlotte.
Vince was the one throwing the swerves.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like a Vince story to me. Like, this feels more along the lines of Hunter and Steph.
Possibly.
Because it's like, Vince wanted Charlotte and Ronda overall only since November. And that's what technically we were supposed to get. Becky was supposed to just have her moment in November and that's it. And we'll see where we could have gone with her. But like you said, she's been the X Factor. She's been the one who got thrown into the plans.
To the original plans.
Yeah, unexpectedly. So to me, it's like now Vince was just added in to be like, no, I'm the authority. I'm the one who says goes. Charlotte's in, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, Vince is trying to take over something that was his original plan to begin with. These two kind of like, no, we think this will sell better.
Yeah.
Because we lost it in November. So now it's like, I will think it's a waste if Becky doesn't win it.
Yes.
Because, again, your X Factor ruined your original plan. Now you have to go with her, no matter what. Not to say that she can't carry the women's division, because she can. You have grown a fan base in the women's division that people have wanted to see for a while now. If, by some way, Charlotte wins, yes, you get what was supposed to happen according to Paul Heyman a couple years ago. Will fans accept it? No, they won't. They won't even bat an eye to be like, I don't find this believable. What some fans had wanted before the belts were going to be unified is Becky wins the Raw Championship. And let's just say the Boston Hug Connection kept their belts. All four of them would have had a belt around their waist. And you can see Ronda out there upset. You can have Shayna come in to pick her up. You're not alone. They think they're the best four. We have our four. And you can build up on that.
Yeah.
I agree with Dan. If Becky doesn't win this whole event, I don't care how great everything else, as lackluster as we've built it up to be, turns out to be every single match 10 for 10.
Yeah.
Becky doesn't win. Fuck WrestleMania 35.
Yeah.
It was the biggest. It will be the biggest disappointment in wrestling history because no one's invested in Charlotte. No one's invested in Ronda. And I think I'll be jaded by this.
Yes.
And that sucks.
Fun fact, the WrestleMania logo is rocking Becky's colors. The orange and the red. So
that's what it's been the whole time.
Symbolic, if anything. But I was thinking about this, Let's say Becky wins. I wouldn't mind if she starts a feud with Ruby Riott and the Riott Squad. I would say the night after the Raw after WrestleMania, you have Becky come out and she goes, finally the man did it. Charlotte and Ronda come out. They're either bickering or whatever. Next thing you know, Riott Squad comes out and goes, we're sick and tired of being the afterthought. We're sick and tired of being overlooked. Yes, you guys got your main event spotlight at Mania, but now it's our time. And you have the Riott Squad go on this tirade and just rip shit apart. And I think that's key with Becky is you need to introduce new feuds, new things. Don't go back to Charlotte versus Becky after WrestleMania.
We're tired. I'm tired of it. I'm fucking over it. I'm over those two in a rivalry. You can have them be friends again, or you can have them be like those weird frenemies type of deal.
Yeah.
But I'm done with those two. Hell, if the other two lose their tag belts and we finally see their rivalry build, I would want to see Becky get involved in that somehow and be like, you know what? You're both not worthy. You're both not capable. Yeah, you've both been champions, but now try to take my belt from me.
Yeah.
Not from Charlotte, not from whoever, but from me. We're all in on Becky for this.
Yes.
So, any final thoughts on WrestleMania?
There's a lot slapped onto this card. There's a lot of very underwhelming matches, which we obviously have stated today that we don't really care about. I don't know. I would like to think that WWE is going to come to their senses and realize what's best for business, not just as the catchphrase, but really what's best for business. And bottom line, you can do whatever you want with the rest, but if Becky does not win in that main event, that's it. WrestleMania does not get justified as new beginnings, as closures, as the place where the superstars, become legends, become immortals. That's just my sentiment. You?
It took 34 WrestleManias to get a women's main event. It's been building up for the last 5 years that we have more women matches. It's finally here. And we're fully investing in one match as opposed to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 matches. Good Lord. I didn't even realize there were that many. But honestly, I think this, if everything goes the way, not the way we want, because obviously we want what we want, but if it goes at least where you can say that 35 was able to top 34, hell, even be considered in top 5, then you'll pulled off one of the greatest things ever this year.
Yeah.
And you can set whatever tone you want for the rest of the year. But if you don't do things the way that not just the universe wants, but what wrestling critics and podcasters and vloggers and everyone like us expect, then I can easily say the rest of this year is going to be going to shit.
Yep.
And that's my sentiment.
So, that was a lot to talk about. But with all that said, there you go. We just previewed the entire WrestleMania card, which I got a feeling subject to change. I feel like some changes might still occur until Sunday just because the build-up this year has been the most cluster of anything. So, yeah, there you go, guys. We previewed WrestleMania. We'll just have to see what happens on Sunday. So, with all that said, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next time.